Hello everyone. Let's get to know about various types of repositories which we need to create in order to work on version control system, which is quite an essential tool because we work on wide variety of code, applications and all. For that version control system is pretty much important. In order to get to know about various types of repositories which we are going to create, we will follow following steps. We'll create one AWS EC2 instance, which will be of Ubuntu operating system. There we will install Git, and after that, we will create a local repository in the instance which we have created in AWS vendor. After that, we will work on creation of our first commit in local repository. We'll use some dummy code for that and we'll perform commit in our local repository, which will be in virtual machine. And then we will create a remote repository as well. For remote repository, we are going to use GitHub as the version control system. So this will be GitHub as the version control system. Then we will set up SSH connectivity in between local repository and remote repository so that data or files can move from your local repository to remote repository. And after that, we'll push code to remote repository. And we will see everything, all these steps in live for now. So let's start step by step. First, let's create one AWS instance. And in order to create AWS instance, I hit on launch. Let's give a name. So get demo is the name which I gave. Ubuntu. Let's choose Ubuntu operating system. Let's skip the instance type as T2 micro. Key pair. Let's choose the key pair which already exists for me. In case if it does not, then you can hit on create new key pair and it will create a new key pair for you. And I'm going to select existing security group for myself, which is the default one, and then launch instance. As simple as that to launch one instance. Once you hit on launch instance, you will be able to view instance which you have launched. And let's wait till the time instance state changes from pending to running state. It takes few minutes or few seconds based on instance type which you have chosen. Since I've chosen T2 micro, it's going to take few seconds. If you would have chosen say T3 micro, then or T3 small, then it won't have taken any time. It will be in fraction of seconds. So now, since it's in running state, I'll try to log in into this instance by using public IPv4 address. I do have the remote connectivity software as MobiXterm. You can use PuTTY as well, that's fine. And here I'm using username as Ubuntu for Ubuntu operating system instance. Advanced SSH setting. For this, I'll use private key. And the private key which I'm going to use, which is there with me, is sample one. So I'll just type sample and sample key pem is the one which is created and hit on OK. As I hit on OK, it has created the instance for me and I'm able to log in into this instance now. I'll just change the user type from Ubuntu to root by executing command sudo su. Now, as you can see, the prompt changed from dollar prompt to hash prompt, which is nothing but the prompt for root user. And even the user changed from Ubuntu to root. Now, let's first update our packages. In order to do that, for Ubuntu, the package manager is apt and the command is update. As you hit the command apt update, it's updating all the already installed package in this operating system. Post that, we will install Git, though in all the latest AMIs, all the latest Amazon machine images, Git is pre-installed, and we'll check that first. So in order to check if Git is installed or not, hit the command git dash dash version, and you see that git is pre-installed. Say in case if git is not installed, then you'd have executed the command apt install git hyphen y, and with this, in case if git would have been not installed, then this would have installed git in your operating system. Now since git is already installed, as it says git is already the newest version, it's not going to install anything. This will be first thing. Now next thing is create one. So this first part is done. We have created EC2 instances. Installation of Git was already there, so we did not do anything there. Now create Git local repository. So in order to create a local repository for yourself, first you create a directory which is with the name Git demo, or you can create a directory which is specific to your project where you want to pull all your files, all your project related files. Now, or where you want to create all your files. So as of now, I just created a directory which is with the name git demo. I'll cd into this directory git demo. And here, as you can see, as of now, nothing is there. It's entirely blank. Now I'll initialize version controlling on this specific directory by executing the command git init. Let's understand this command. The command says git init. Init is initializing git at this specific directory. So till now, this directory git demo is just a directory. It's not a local repository. But by hitting git init command, we are initializing local repository on this specific directory. And as I hit it, it says that initialized empty git repository. And in order to do that, it has created a directory which is with the name .git here. Now if I execute the same command ls-la, which I executed even before, it did not give any output before, but now if I execute, it says that .git is the directory which is created, and this got created because I executed the command git init. You can see some yellow color messages also. It says that I did not set the username and I did not set the I did not set the email address and username here. I did not update the configuration as of now in this specific virtual machine. And that is what the prompt says. Say in case if you want to do that, command is to command is git config to update those specific values, those specific contents. You can use that as well. But for now, let's proceed and let's focus on our steps. So as of now, what we have done, we have created AWS instance, we have installed Git, we have installed create Git local repository. We have completed the Git local repository creation part also. Now let's move to the next part. We will do first our first commit in local repository, which is in virtual machine. In order to do that, you first create some files. I'll use some Linux command to create file. In order to create file, I'll use vi editor and I'll say sample file dot txt. I'm just creating one sample file for myself. I'll say this is a sample code for testing purpose. I created a sample file for myself. I'm saving and coming out of it. Now, since I created a file at this specific directory, which is now a local repository, it will be tracked there by local repository. Now, if I execute the command git status, it says that the file which is sample file.txt, which I created just now, is in untracked category and it is in branch master, which is the only branch as of now created here. So now if I have to track this file, if I have to just move the file to various stages of local repository. First, I have to move it from the untracked file state to staging area. And in order to do that, I'll hit the command git add and I'll put the file name there. And as I hit it, suppose that if I execute git status command, it does not show me the message as untracked files. Sample file is not under untracked files as of now. It says that there is a new file which is getting tracked as of now, which is of the name samplefile.txt, and it's still in branch master, but I did not commit it yet. So it's yet to be committed. In order to commit it, I have to execute the command git commit -m, and I'll give some message which says that the first commit is getting done. So I'll just put a message as first commit so that I can get to know about the commit, or I get to know about few details of the commit. Now, since it's my first commit, I'm putting the message as first commit. And it's as it's been done, as you can see, one file changed and one insertion happened. Now, if I execute git status command, it says that nothing is there, but the file has been committed. In order to see where the file went, execute command git ls hyphen files. It says that sample file.txt is getting tracked by git now, and it's in the local repository. Now, next thing which we have to do is we have to create a remote repository. So we have done our first commit till step 4 we have completed. Now we have to create a remote repository which will be in GitHub. In order to do that, let's first log in into GitHub. And in order to do that, the URL will be github.com. So let's just type github.com. Now, since I do have already account there in github.com, it directly took me to github.com. My account itself, which is RevOpsCNG129. In case if you do not have account in github.com, then it won't take you to this page. It will take you to the page where you have to create your account. It looks something like this, github.com. It looks something like this. You have to hit on sign up button. As you hit up on sign up button, it will prompt few messages and it will ask you to create your account here. As you create your account, post that as you log in, this page will open for you. So now at this specific window, you have to create your remote repository. In order to create a remote repository, there is a drop down. As you can see at the right top, there is a drop down beside plus. As you click on the drop down, it gives you option of new repository. Click on new repository. As we click on new repository, it asks me to provide a repository name. Let's give it a name. I'm giving a name as Capartech Git or Capartech DevOps demo. So it says that it is available. Well and good. I can use this. I am keeping it public because private repository incurs certain cost. And along with this, I'm going to add a README file and hit on create repository. As simple as that. You just need to put the name of the repository, choose the option, either public or private, based on your requirement. Ensure that you are initializing this repository with a README file. And after that, as you hit on create a repository button, it will create a repository for you. Now, what it does is this will set main as the default branch. Though, if you remember, in our local, we had master as our default branch. We will see that in a few minutes. As I hit on create repository, it's creating repository. And as you can see, It has created my first commit, initial commit, which is with readme.md. It created a readme file in this specific repository, and it is having a main branch. As you can see, it is having a main branch with it. Now next thing which I have to do is, since I created a repository, next thing which I have to do is I have to clone this repository to my local, and I have to start modifying the files at the location which I have cloned, which is getting created after cloning this specific repository. So first you have learned how to create a repository locally in case if you are doing everything from very scratch. Next thing what you have learned is, next thing what we are discussing is we have created a remote repository. Now I'm going to show you how to clone a repository which is already created. In order to do that, you have a drop down. So click on the drop down. As you click on the drop down, you do have the clone option. As you can see here, it's appearing here, clone. So now you just copy the URL here, which is there in this box, and come out of your git demo repository. Suppose that execute the command git clone and give the URL of your repository. As of now, this repository is not in your local. As of now, it's just there in remote. Now, as you are hitting this command, automatically the file which is present in this repository, which is Capartech DevOps demo, will come in your local, and that will contain the README file. As you can see, as of now, the content of Capartech DevOps demo is just the readme.md file. Now hit enter. As I hit enter, automatically it says that receiving these and these files. That's it. That's what we want. As I do ls, it says that Capartech DevOps demo is another directory which is created. Now I can see readme.md file came to my local. Now let's start making changes. And when you are making changes, ensure that the connectivity of your local and remote is established. In order to check the connectivity, execute the command git remote -v. And as you can see, there is a connectivity, but there is a problem with this connectivity. This connectivity is with HTTPS, which is not a widely used method of sending files from your local to remote. Though there are methods by means of which you can send files over HTTPS protocol also, but the more widely used method is SSH. Now, in order to have connectivity in between your local repository to remote repository, which is point number 6 in our discussion, we will generate one SSH private key. In order to generate SSH private key, the command is SSH key gen and put a comment as Capartech demo. Hit enter, hit enter, hit enter, hit enter, and it has generated one private and public key for me. Now, in order to see the private and public key, I need to go to this specific path, cd, and go to that specific path. And here, if I do ls-l, it says that I do have authorized key, public key, and private key. So private key remains intact. I'll have to share my public key to GitHub repository so that SSH connectivity can happen properly. In order to share public key, I'll just cat the public key content, which is this. Suppose that let's copy the key from your local and go to remote repository. There in remote repository, at the rightmost section, click on the avatar, click on the icon. As you click on the icon, you do have the option of settings. Click on settings. As you click on settings, you see the option as SSH and GPG keys. Select the option SSH and GPG keys. As of now, I do have these two keys already present. I'll delete both the keys and I'll add a new key now, which is Capartech demo or Capartech DevOps demo, and paste the key here. And after that, hit on add SSH key. It will ask for your password once again. Give the password, and as you put in your password, this key is added, as you can see. Now, let's go back again to your repository, and there we will start making changes in our repository, and we will see how our repository is going to work. Now, the repository which we have created is with the name Capartech DevOps demo. Let's open that. Now, as you can see, this is the repository which is created, whose first commit is done 6 minutes ago. But as of now, whatever commit has been done is done remotely only. Nothing moved from local to remote. So let's push something from local to remote, because when you are developing any application, you will write code on your local only, either by using some IDE VS Code or by using any other platform. And post you are done, you will push the code. And also, one thing which you have to notice is the branch as of now which is available is main only. As you can see here, we do have only main branch. We'll modify that thing also. So now let's go back to Capartech DevOps demo directory. Let's clear the screen. And as of now, I do have only readme.md and .get file. And in order to check number of branches which is available, I do have only main branch as of now. I'll create one more branch here. And now you're going to see how to create a branch and how to check out into the branch. In order to do that, execute the command git checkout dash b and say the name of the branch which you want to create. Now it says that it has created a branch which is with the name master and also switched to the new branch which is master. Now, if I do get status, it says me that I am on branch master. And if I do get branch dash a here, it says that the highlighted branch is master branch only. Let's clear the screen. Now, I'll do my one dummy commit in this specific directory, in this specific local repository. I'll create another file, or I can use some other method also. But the most simple way to start with is, let's use some editor to do the job. Sample Capartech file, and let's give the file as HTML. Give it some header 1. This is a sample file for testing, and let's close this header. Save and come out of this. Next thing is to add this file to staging area, because if you don't add it, it will be untracked. Like the way you can see, it's untracked as of now. Let's add it. And in order to add, execute the command git add. And after that, you have to do a commit and say it's my first commit. The commit has been done. If I do git status now, it says that on branch master, nothing to commit and working tree is clean. Well and good. Now next thing which I have to do is I have to push this to remote repository. So I'm going to push two things in remote repository. First, the branch master, which does not exist as of now, and the file, which is sample Capartech file, which I've created just now. In order to do that, first thing is I have to change this connectivity from HTTPS to SSH. In order to do that, I will execute the command git remote remove origin so that I can break the connectivity first. And as I hit this, it says that your connectivity is broken. Next thing what I have to do is I have to establish connectivity. For that, the command is git remote add origin. And this time, instead of using HTTPS as the method, use SSH as the method. And copy this. As you copy this, the link is different this time. This time, this is the link which follows SSH protocol. Hit enter. And as you hit enter, suppose that if you execute the command git remote dash v, you can see origin is now pointing to different URL which is following SSH protocol, not HTTPS protocol. Now connectivity is also established. SSH connectivity in between local and remote is established now. Next will be to push the code to remote repository. I'll again go back to remote repository to verify if anything changed. As you can see, I do have only one branch as of now, which is main. I don't have master branch, which is my main branch is the default branch, and I don't have any other file other than readme.md. Now, next thing which I'll do is I'll hit the command git push origin and I'll say master. And as I hit enter, it says that since it's for the first time pushing, it says that do you want to continue connecting? And I'll say yes to it. As I say yes to it, it says that it's been added and push happened. Now, if I go to remote repository and if I refresh the page, the branches change from 1 to 2. And if I hit on drop down, I do have two branches now, main and master. So I push the branch from my local to remote, and along with the branch, I pushed the file also, which is sample Capartech file.html. Let's see if the file content is same, and yes, it is same. And with this, we have completed our seventh step also. Thank you for watching this video. Please provide your comments in the section. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you, everyone.